homesteading.
Well, they changed we're potting. Hey, welcome to the, what is it this week? Toast of the Weird? Yeah, we're weird toasting. Anyway, but no, they've changed the verbiage around that to make it more acceptable so that way people can grow their own victory gardens or whatever the fuck it is these days, you know? And instead of being a prepper, you're a homesteader. You're just growing your own shit.
It does have less doomsday, feel to it.
It does have less of a doomsday feel to it and more of a, well, if the pandemic happens again, at least you'll be prepared. Wait a minute.
If another situation happens, I can't remember if it's 14 days, because somewhere the government actually tells you to have a certain amount of food on stock. But no more, because then you can be charged with hoarding or fucking some other crazy shit.
Some other bullshit law that they created? I think it's 3 days.
Back in the day. No, it's about a week or two.
Really?
I think it's because any natural disaster. Think of a real natural disaster, like a flood.
Okay, so it's like generic advice, like, hey, if
you shouldn't only have 3 days worth of food in your house.
You should have a week's worth of food, maybe 2 weeks, because you never know when you're going to get rescued. But heaven forbid your house gets flooded, and all of that stuff just goes to waste.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with knowing where you live too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can you really be that? There's a reason why people in tornado alleys have basements.
I was about to say, if I was in Tornado Alley, my basement would be stocked with food and water. It makes sense.
There you go. And if I lived in California, probably would be a good idea to live on the landslide area.
Yeah?
Right? So it's just kind of knowing, and not trying to fuck with Mother Nature too much, you know what I mean? Being in harmony.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe I've always wanted a house that you could drill into a mountain, that's in the mountain, Those are the best, man-made caves. Those are the best houses. They seriously are.
I'm laughing because when I play Minecraft with my 8-year-old son, I will make a house on the side of a mountain right next to some kind of ravine or something like that that goes into the mountain, because in Minecraft, that's where you go down and get your resources and then, play from there. But that's neither here nor there.
Speaking of which, so I'm seeing all these things, Mohenjo-Daro, I think it's maybe called. It's called Göbekli Tepe. Is the above ground structure. So I'm thinking about there's 3 or 4 of them, these cities that they found underground.
Okay.
Have you heard of them? It's Turkey.
Somewhat. What's that guy's name? Graham Stepples?
Graham Hancock.
Graham Hancock.
Yeah, there is Graham Stephan, but that's financial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were not wrong. But yeah, Graham Hancock.
Okay, so that guy is always talking about that, and it sounds like a familiar name to me, but I've only ever heard it once or twice where he's like, because architecture to me, honestly, is about as interesting as watching paint dry, to be bluntly honest.
It's just the fact that they, because again, what I love about these discoveries is we think about primitive people living in caves like it was this huge, again, you live in a cave,
sticks and stones and ugga bugga and thump the woman over the head and procreate that way.
Exactly, all filthy and dirty, right? But when you really look at it, you're like, wait, these cavemen had these huge metropolises in caves that they built, and we don't know how they did it. And they talk about the oracle chamber.
No idea.
There's a place in there that you can stand and speak just in a normal voice, and everyone in the entire complex can hear you. It echoes all the way out.
Yeah, okay. Anyway. That was the technology passed down to even Shakespearean's age.
Yeah. So
because they did a lot of those theaters that way, so that way everybody could be heard.
Yeah.
But that was more structuralized and not carved.
Well, just to know that. But anyway, those cities that they have underground, apparently a bunch of them are connected together, they found.
Cool.
But I saw this map of our state, and they showed about there's a geological map, all the granite and everything. There's a huge ass area way out in the desert. It's just fucking limestone. A lot of this stuff is built out of limestone. Huh. So I was thinking about going out there sometime maybe, or looking at the information around this area and seeing if there might be some sort of underground cavern in that
There's
space.
all kinds of cave divers around here too that go in and get gold and copper and stuff like that. They'll go down and come up. and do that. I don't know if,
I'm watching some of those videos of people were like pulling out crystals and all this stuff from the ground. Yeah, I've been thinking about some of that. You can still gold pan here. Yeah. Buy a claim. There's some that literally talk about how like it's been dug out. They're like, yeah, you can buy the rights to sift through all of our silt or the trash or whatever. And they're like, there's still gold in there. It's just not worth it for us to pan out anymore. So we'll sell it to you.
You can get the gold flakes. Or you could just bag up the sand and sell it to people and make a profit that way. Have you seen those?
No, but that's exactly, it sounds just like that.
Yeah, so
I'll sell you a pound of dirt that has, you can go
that
home
has some flakes in it, a pound of dirt, $150, and then everyone that I've seen, they get like $90 worth of gold out of it. So it's not worth it to buy it, but you still get gold.
It's not necessarily just, I don't think you'd be selling it, because again, you're not selling it to, you're selling it at a profit, one. Two, anyone who'd be buying that, like, they know that, again, it's just the experience. You're buying the experience. Like, there's gold in here, and, hey, I can teach my daughter, or, hey, I was out panning it, or maybe I can learn how to do it and then go out on my own. Because there's a couple states that they still have active, or that have, like, what is that fucking, how many goddamn rumors / folk stories do we have about the mountains around here, about mines and fucking ghost stories and lost gold and all that shit?
Well, a mutual friend of ours' grandfather was still gold panning up into his 70s, 80s, 90s.
Damn.
Yeah, and that was in the 90s, early 2000s that he was doing all that.
Nice.
So, I don't like to name drop because nobody knows. One, nobody knows who they are, and two, I don't know.
Totally different name drop when someone wants to keep their anonymity.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to keep their anonymity or if they even... Anyway.
Fuck, was that Opal or something? This gentleman came in while I was still at the store, a couple of stores back I was at, and he had whatever fucking mine it was. I can't remember what rocks it was. Not amethyst, agate something maybe.
Okay.
But he had, an open pit fucking mine that he had kids and volunteering, and I was like, cool, yeah. He took my information now, never called me, but I looked it up. He had this open pit mine over here or whatever. They would just go and fucking dig up this badass stones and shit, and he would sell it wholesale to the gem show people.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a good... Well, I mean, good for him to get that niche down.
Right. Oh, speaking of which, name drop. Gem World. You ever been there? Gotta take the lady, bro.
Gem World. G-E-M? J-A-M?
G-E-M. Like
G-E-M?
the stone, yeah. Gem World. Okay. So on the south side, there's only one in town. They're a wholesaler / retailer of basically all the shit you get at the gem show.
Oh, nice.
Like it looked like an indoor gem show that was private as shit, chill as fuck. There was like nobody else in there almost. Like all the employees were like, what? Yeah, cool. Like no one was following you around. Like it was awesome. You had carts and stuff you were pushing around. Shit I have never seen.
Really?
Like it's real prices. I got a fucking chunk of amethyst, this big dude, for $30.
About the size of a small basketball?
Yeah. Then normally would be at least $120 at the gem show. At least anywhere else. I guarantee you it's $100 some. Beautiful. They had they had stone knives, dude.
Do they have obsidian knives?
That's okay. So I don't think they had obsidian, but the place was big. I could have missed them. It was made out of some sort of white stone.
That's my new goal in life, is to get an obsidian knife because it's like the sharpest knife on the planet.
They probably would have chunks of obsidian there.
And then just make your own knife?
They'll chip it down, yeah. Old school. We should do that, yeah.
Just for giggles?
Well, not just that, but like we talked about having the active shit. We could videotape us fast forward fucking making... Hey, by the way, this is how you make a stone knife. You can get some fucking...
Dude, I literally watched a video this morning of we got to get dumber with our content, for real, because I saw this guy on YouTube who had 4.31 million followers, and he's literally just this... I'm going to offend everybody out there, but he's just this juice monkey of a dude. Like, he's not natty, bruh, but he's like special forces looking style, like persona, demographic.
Okay.
And he's like, how does the medieval weapons handle modern armors? And he's just out there just smashing stuff like an idiot. And I'm like, all right, as someone who's actually studied medieval weaponry and enjoys that stuff and likes the styles of it, you're a fucking retard. Sorry.
Okay.
I apologize for using that word. You are a fucking Momo. Is that what you call him? Moo moo.
Okay, let's put another spin on this.
Cheese and biscuits. All right, go for it.
Let's check this out. To only estimate or predict or assume some of his demographics, it's the same reason why a lot of women like watching football and other sports.
Fair.
They're not, I don't, again, most women admit that they're not watching the sports. They don't care about the sports. They're watching the men.
Yeah.
So again,
all right.
most of the people probably watching him could give a fuck what this guy's saying. Cool. There's like some big old beefy, handsome fucking whatever dudes out there. Probably half naked, right?
No, he wasn't half naked. No? He just had a shirt on. He was just very military. So
that's what I was thinking when you said
but his muscles were showing.
There you go.
He had his pecs in.
There you go.
But out.
So there's this other guy I thought my brother could have like kind of mirrored what he did, and that was really sad. But he is just in like pants or whatever, I don't whatever, but I've seen him flip. He just like does Viking weapon like recreation stuff where he's just like, looking all Viking, looking all whatever, and throwing fucking spears and with his sword and shit.
Oh, I've seen that dude.
Yeah, all he's doing is showing off his fucking physique and, capturing the Viking fucking craze right now. And
he's just a meat magnet right now.
It's all power to the guy. Like, fucking, hey, man, you used to do some push-ups, I mean,
I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, our content needs to get dumber. Like, we gotta not be all like, all right, and these are the energy vibrations of the.
What kind of content? We can go with a sliding scale. I still would like to be able to have that. If you want to smash some watermelons, Wayne, we can get some swords.
And smash watermelon. But that's the whole thing is like, I want to elevate the consciousness and the intellect to make being smart cool again. But I was never cool in the first place, so I don't know how that's going to happen, Okay. I've lived my life as a nerd for so damn long. I'm just like, I don't care.
I'll name drop Jake Tran. So it's about the edutainment.
Edutainment? Yeah. Edutainment. Ah, nice.
We need to look at the scale between entertainment and education that we have. So it's not that we shouldn't educate people, but how entertaining is it to watch and hear that education?
There you go. That's great. That's a great idea. And yes, you are 100% correct. Can I go back to Meat Momo now? So Meat Momo has a mace, and he's like, I don't know what to call this, so I'm just going to call it Spiky Ball. And like, he baseball swings this thing like, I can't even describe it for our audio listeners, but he just like, see, it smashed the head. And he had some really cool toys. I'm not going to, like, that's what captured me. He had one of those ballistic gel skull things that you'd see on Mythbusters. Mm-hmm. He had one of those set up. And he was like, bam! And you could see, like, bone shattering and, like, I don't know what he had for brain matter, but it was, like, green slime or whatever. And he's like, smash. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty satisfying. And then he did the same thing with the helmet, smash. And I'm like, see, that weapon would have been used from horseback, so the motion would have been down.
Well, I mean, you could have.
Yeah, I get that.
But I guess, back.
Yeah, I get that, but think about it. Whoosh versus, You know what I mean? Has no power to it, whereas
you should write,
downward strike.
Meet Momo some notes. As one of his listeners, his subscribers, Wayne, because obviously you're hate following this guy, and that's fine.
No, I'm not hate. Well, I'm not hate following him.
He's like,
well, I mean, he is kind of cute.
And then this is what else I have to say about that. Regardless of why, you're still talking about him.
That's true.
So again, it doesn't matter anymore, and that's what the capture point is people. There used to be this point where if there was terrible content, and I don't even just mean content in the internet age, just content period, people wouldn't absorb it. For some fucking reason, I guess because we can complain about it or tell other people we can complain about it or something. There's something that's changed now with the way that we view shitty entertainment. Fair. We just absorb it. It's fucking crazy.
Fair.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, people would not go to a fucking circus show you told them was crappy, but someone will fucking watch the video you told them this guy's a complete idiot.
Yeah, they wouldn't pay money, right? But they'll watch it, just be like, wow, that guy is kind of dumb, isn't he? And the worst part about it is that I saw this on one of the medieval pages.
Yeah.
Too. They shared it, and I was like, all right, I'll look into it, because they're pretty legit with their content. And this dude's like, I don't know what this is, but we're going to call it Spiky on a Chain. And he's like whacking what he called zombie molds or something.
But either in any sort of way, And again, his scale of entertainment and education is just slided differently. And again, with that being said, how many people do you think have never seen the spiky ball chain until fucking Muscle Momo showed them?
I know, right? I don't know what a flail is, so I'll just call it a spiky ball chain.
That's the interesting thing, Wayne. You don't think that he was able to get enough knowledge, the resources to be able to purchase all that shit and still not know what it is? That's all for entertainment.
Yeah.
That guy's literally dumbing down himself to, again, like you said,
be accepted.
Oh, what's the target demographic audience?
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are we thinking that everyone who watches the Discovery Channel is going to be one of our people? Or should we realize that maybe, we're looking for people who watch NASCAR and wrestling? I'm not saying those are bad, but those are just different slides of the entertainment education scale.
And occasionally wear a tinfoil hat, too. We need that demographic. We need the tinfoil hat demographic because there is definitely something that's going on in education that nobody knows about, because education is the literal difference between $1,000 paycheck and $1 million paycheck.
You just have to slide that in there. It's kind of like, again, too, like those WWE stars or whatever, if they were, again, I'm not saying anything bad. I don't want to make that perfectly clear. Because again, too, everyone, that's what's cool about that is most of the people, again, too, like, they're, I know it's fake because it's just entertainment.
Yeah.
So again, too, it's not about the lessering of someone if they watch that or whatever, or, whatever other stuff. It's just, again, how much education, entertainment are you willing to devour? What is your level?
Fair enough. Fair enough with that. I don't know. I would like to go beyond our 2 listeners that we have, aside from us, that listen to the podcast.
Well, is it time to, like you said, to just get on different social medias? Is it time to just push some? Should we give Spotify $30 to get out to those other 1,800 or whatever? I keep seeing those little advertisements on the page, like, reach this. Maybe we should do that. Maybe once a month we do something, or
I think that we should develop the means to actually go into YouTube as a proper business. Get some decent recording equipment, cameras, that kind of a thing. But we just got to see the direction of it, because I really do enjoy this whole working out at the park, just bullshitting kind of a thing. Like, what do you talk about? My wife always asks me, what do you talk about? And I'm like, well, it's recorded on the podcast, And then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll listen to it again. Oh, we talked about alien space bats building the limestone structure out in the Sahara Desert, She's like, what are you guys talking about that for? I'm like, well, I don't know, because it's more interesting than just talking about business structures.
There's stuff comes up, the world actually isn't these pockets of weird. The world's full of fucking weird, and we just ignore it.
Yes. Yeah.
The world is literally completely full of weird, and we ignore it all.
Yeah, and it's that whole Obey thing from the 70s, that 70s movie where the guy puts on the glasses and he sees all the aliens for what it is. Obey, consume, obey. Mm-hmm. I've been having a real bit hard time with that kind of stuff myself. It's like, what do? All right, 9 a.m., go to work, come home. 9 a.m., go to work, go to school, do what you've been indoctrinated to do. Get out of work, go home, eat dinner with the family. Sit down, watch The Simpsons marathon for 34 hours, and maybe get an hour of rest. It's so boring.
Now, we're realizing how we've been indoctrinated, controlled, and the world's been designed for us to propagate the, I won't say the 3-letter word industry, but it is true. That is how it has pushed everything along in the way that it is, and it's obvious for years that there's been a completely different patent system when it comes to energy patents.
Yeah, and it's illegal for you to create your own energy as well on a certain level without giving a cut to somebody else.
Yeah, like what bullshit is that?
Yeah, because everybody would have solar if that was the case. If we were actually trying to save the world, everyone would have their own solar power panels, and maybe we have a national backup system, just in case.
Utilities are a fucking scam. Business is generally a scam. Like, I don't think trade and commerce is a scam, but after a certain while, when an entity is more powerful than the country it is sitting in.
When they become a monopolistic corporatocracy cartel kind of a deal?
Correct.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Because the food companies are all buying each other, just like we were talking about Vanguard and BlackRock. They're buying each other up too.
Kroger, is it Kroger buying someone, or someone else buying Kroger, or someone was talking about how
there
it
was.
a big deal?
I don't know what it was, but it was like Albertsons Kroger wanted to compete with Walmart, and now we have 3 whole chains selling us, basically human kibble.
I gotta write that down. That's a good one.
What? We have 3 grocery chains
No, the human kibble.
selling us human kibble? Yeah.
Papa Weird's idea, human kibble.
Yeah, you just... It's something that
Take
I was
that for
looking
what you
into,
want.
which is why I started growing the garden.
It's Soylent Green all over again. It's made of people!
It's made of people! But it's true, though, man. Like high fructose corn syrup and what else? What else is in stuff?
That's pretty much it. It's all high fructose corn syrup these days.
Right? And then I was listening where they have basically perfume factories trying to develop a good mouth feel for your consumable food. McDonald's, Burger King, just all the fast food restaurants, their French fries are like 98% chemical, 2% potato.
Dude, yeah, we talked about how they make their potatoes.
Yeah, we
And
have
they
talked
grow
about how
them
they...
and the chemicals they just sit in and like...
And then I
How
was
ridiculous
listening
it is.
in. I know, like, this is all like, this is the absolute God's honest truth because I saw it on the internet. But I was listening in to where these people were like talking about how there are these research facilities out there saying this is the best mouth experience, the crunch, the flavor, the smell for this food to be passable as food.
Correct.
Because they're not, it's human kibble.
That's exactly what it is. You're right. Yeah. Back to that lady who talked about, she's like, I hate to admit this. She's like, but when I was younger, I found out. She's like, cockroaches don't eat McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what was it? Was it Holland? It was a European country that banned McDonald's in their country. And they literally have the last McDonald's hamburger and French fry on display in their museum. They bought it, they put it there, and it's just a little bit grayer. And it was like 30 years ago that they banned McDonald's from their country. And they banned it for all the reasons that I just said. So, I mean...
I love just seeing the difference between like the European food and our food. Like, I think it was a box of cereal someone put like next to it. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, because you motherfuckers still eat this shit.
It's because Europe isn't profit motivated. Like the capitalism of the States are.
I think what it is we're just used to getting fucked over, and again, to like as powerful as we think the United States is, and the FDA and all. Like no, it's like gummy. It's like a toothless fucking bear gumming a fucking. Yep, pausing it.
Blipping. We got a blip.
I think it was Joe Rogan actually talking about it. They were talking about someone got fired. And the lady got fired because she didn't have enough keystrokes or some stupid shit, even though she finished all of her job faster than they required it or whatever. Like, how dumb are you people?
I heard the same thing, and it was Joe Rogan. She actually produced her daily quota of work, whatever the data analytics or recording or whatever it was, in such a time that she didn't have enough keystrokes or mouse clicks or whatever the heck it was, and they let her go because she was too efficient at doing her job. That doesn't make sense to me. You pay that woman more and give her more work. Obviously, you're not working her to the bone enough.
Well, that brings up a whole issue about work, scale, time, profit, pay, relation. Because again, two of us, we could both fix a lock. You and I could both fix a lock.
Yeah.
It would be good. It would be done. But I guarantee you would be faster, more efficient, quicker at it. Does that mean I should get paid less?
Maybe.
No. Does that mean you should get paid more? I don't know.
Well, that goes down to the whole heart of the apprentice journeyman argument in the trades. You're not going to pay your apprentice, your full wage because they know half of the shit that you do and they're learning from you. When I was an apprentice, I literally used to tell journeymen, "Thank you for letting me slow you down today." Because they would have to slow me down. They would have to slow down to teach me whatever the heck it was, 2 or 3 times after they showed me it, I could do it just as fast as they could. And they'd laugh about that too. It was a good joke. Good joke. Any of you in the trades who are apprentices, just tell your journeyman, thank you for letting me slow you down today.
So I think a lot of it kind of comes back down to things in labor. We push back down to the trades, journeyman, master, this, etc. You know, maybe your job requires a master, sir, and your job only requires an apprentice at this skill level, sir. Like, that's why. So I can see things going back that way. Kind of like being paid.
They're trying to do that right now, actually, because the whole Jay Waller programming, he's very adamant about getting people back into the trades, right? He's all, learn to trade, blah, 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 blah. And that's huge, especially on my YouTube algorithm, where they're trying to encourage people to get into the trades because there's no fucking tradesmen left. Because during the 90s and early 2000s, they were trying to tell everybody to go get a college education. So
tech job,
yeah, everybody got a college education and a tech job, and our world is crumbling, literally crumbling. Our infrastructure, our internet, all that stuff is absolutely fantastic because we've developed that as a trade, and it is a valid trade. Don't get me wrong. Computer engineering and all that stuff is a valid trade, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to podcast and bitch about how, you know, the real world is crumbling, but our internet data lives are like exploding exponentially. I forgot the point I was trying to make.
Just trades and everything, going back to kind of apprentice journeyman.
Oh yeah, going
kind
towards
of
the
that,
apprentice journeyman
and
thing.
again too, just the way we structure jobs, and not only that, but the way companies pay for the job. Like, for example, hey, why does Sarah get paid the same amount as me, but she doesn't have to work as much? Because Sarah can do the same amount of work as you in 6 hours instead of 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So Sarah and I have a deal, or she's at this level. If you'd like to get to that level, these are the steps for you. But we keep Sarah on because she can do 9 hours worth of work in 6 hours.
But that's only if you're being fair as the owner, manager, whatever the case may be. If you're not that person and you're like, yeah, I'm going to exploit Sarah because she could do 8 hours work in 6 hours because capitalism, bitches.
So right there, you just touched upon exactly what the real issue is. It's the actual power structure between the employee and the employer.
There you go.
It's the power structure, because right there, they realize, again, if you have to either move in this direction with that, or they have to move in this direction with that. So they would rather keep all their, not shittier, but again, everyone working 8 hours, producing 6 hours worth of work, than pay Sarah for 8 hours for only working 6 hours.
No offense to anybody named Sarah who
does
an example. Really awesome.
Sorry.
You're just our example name.
Yeah,
There's nobody real Sarah that we actually know, or whatever disclosures we got to stay to keep legal.
Jane Doe. Yeah, exactly. So
whatever. Yeah, but
right, because again, too, did you benefit the employee or do you benefit the company?
And
that's
I think
really
that's
what it boils down to.
Yes, and I think there was a whole awakening that happened during the pandemic. I wish I'd have brought my water.
Yeah, I thought the smoothie would be doing it today.
Where people would move towards that, though, where they're waking up to that, you know, because they keep creating new ways of basically telling people that they're only doing their job or whatever. They keep trying to talk trash about that, and that's coming from the woo-woos above down to us peons who actually do the work.
You're talking about the simple fact that we have gotten paid basically the same, and our work productivity has increased exponential amount as a society in 10, 15, 2 years. And our pay balance compared to the average worker to the CEO has raised from 14 to 400 and something times.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the CEO level people are talking trash about the people who are doing the grunt work, the working class. They're literally coming in and basically doing their job and then leaving and not going above and beyond. So they're trying to basically take that and say, this is not the way. You got to go above and beyond if you want to get anywhere, blah, 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 blah,
I've
blah.
heard that so much.
Well,
you have to do more than I'm paying you to get more than I'm paying you.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my job, I'm going to do my job well, and I'm going to go home at the end of the day.
It's the soft skills. People don't get picked at certain levels because of how good you are. People get picked at certain levels because when we're done doing all that, who am I going to go bro with? Who am I going to talk about the peons with?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's that.
You either get it, you're either
culture.
in, you're either like that unspoken, we take advantage of everybody, or if you bring that up, you just don't get it. How many times I was told that? You just don't get it. You just don't get it. This is what a leader should be doing. You're not doing anything.
This is what a leader should be doing. High five! Yeah, bro!
It goes back to that. I think it was actually an Egyptian example. So they had it was 4 guys on each little picture on each side. So the first picture said manager or boss, right? And it had the guy in the sled whipping the 3 guys. And the one on the right side said leader. And then the guy in the front was the leader pulling
the sled with all the other guys. Yeah, absolutely. And I think free market, truly free market economics would have those shittier companies just fall by the wayside. But for whatever reason, they've got daddy's money or whatever, they still are, employing people and all that stuff. Let's pick on the Waltons for a while because we haven't done that in a minute. They are the #1 employer offering state benefits, access,
they
welfare,
offer access?
all that stuff.
How can they offer that? That's state stuff.
Oh, they don't offer it directly. They just pay you less so that way you qualify for that. But they still expect you to work your 40 hours. I will pay you minimum wage to go through.
Well, if you kind of think about it, if you really think about the corporate structure, right?
Okay.
Because how a company own another company and this other company.
Yeah, sure.
Right? I mean, the way they're looking at it, they're like, hey, the other part of your pay is coming from our sister company, which you call, no one else can see this, I'm winking, the government. So, because it's all one giant corporation, they all own each other, they're all entangled, they all have a percentage of who the fuck ever, and this guy owns that company, and hey, wait, my daughter married you, so I have to vote your bill in, or whatever the fuck.
Crony capitalism, whatever. So the other thing is that, it's going to rain within the next week. I'm calling it right now.
Oh, yeah, the chemtrails?
Yeah, I'm going to call that right now. It's going to rain within the next week.
Look at that motherfucker chemtrailing over there.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you by next week anyway. And everybody just gets okay with that. But the thing is, brain fart. Blah. The thing is that this is acceptable for the Walmart hierarchy to pay their people just barely enough to where they qualify for welfare benefits. Meanwhile, the CEO is making $40,000 an hour. Because capitalism, and we want everybody on the bottom rung to believe that they could be the CEO at one point in time, making $40,000 an hour, and that's why it still is the way it is.
So if you just give a little more, if you just work harder,
just a little bit, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Have you ever tried to pull yourself up by bootstraps?
I think by the laws of physics that we understand, it is impossible.
It is physically impossible to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Of course, we still can't explain on a scientific level well enough, like a 5-year-old, how a bicycle works. So, do we really even know shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway. And again, too, we've talked about this, and again, too, this is what brings up, there is no way to scientifically have a formula to prove that gravity exists.
E equals mc squared?
No, that's the speed of fucking light.
Oh, my bad.
It just has, there's an energy times mass squared, But again, I'm not saying I believe or disbelieve, but when you start thinking about it, same thing. If anyone can explain to me how a bicycle works, please. Not like the way it works, how it works.
Have a physicist out there to get him on the podcast.
That's what I'm talking about.
Come on. Join us for our idiotification of the education edutainment.
Yes. So the other podcast I was telling you I look into, it's Valuetainment.
Valuetainment.
Yeah, you'll know him when you see him. Great guy. Great guy.
All right. Valuetainment.
Yeah, entertainment. Edutainment.
I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just really hard to give a shit. You're just like, I'm going to let the fluoride work this week and just not care.
I think that's really what it is, dude, that's the apocalypse. This is our real apocalypse, is like becoming a zombie, and it's that, and like you talked about that movie. You want the glasses on or off? I know it sucks to have them on, but...
I saw a meme last week. It's like, do you want to take the red pill or the blue pill? And the next one is, did you just take both? Yes, I did. I want to be awake and asleep all at the same time. Calm.
It's just a gentleman talking about how it's really hard to be one of the universe's chosen. I'm talking about how like you have the burden of seeing, you have the burden of like not, hearing lies. Like it's just like how hard it is. I'm like, that's really fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like that, like it's the, because everyone thinks like being the hero is like great, but then like how shitty it is. Again, too, you got to think about how all the heroes have this really, really awesome, tragically horrible origin story that made them who they are.
Well, so do the villains too.
Yeah, good point.
They do. They have. It's what you do with that kind of tragedy that makes you the hero or the villain. I think that's what Stan Lee was trying to portray along the sides of like all of his other liberal agenda.
Isn't that all kind of crazy point of view? This person broke down Peter Pan in a way that like made me rethink my childhood.
Right? Yes.
Did you see that?
Say it. Say it once.
Okay, so they talk about how the theory of Peter Pan is actually like an angel of death escorting dead children or dying children to fucking wherever.
Yeah.
And that Captain Hook and his crew are actually former Lost Boys who escaped but have come back to kind of like defeat or save the other children.
Yes.
And now Hook, they bring this up. They're like, look at all the pirates. They're like, why are all of them wearing clothes like for children?
Yep.
And I'm like, that's
in the Disney version
crazy.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, Captain Hook never hurts anyone. He never goes after you. He just always talks about how he's like, no, he shouldn't be doing it.
He's trying to go after Pan.
Yeah, I was like, that's fucking crazy. And again, they talk about how him and, I think it was a version how they were friends way back in the day or something too. They knew each other, and I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, the expanding on that theory, it's like Hook and Pan went to Neverland at the same time. It's just Hook chose to grow up, whereas Pan chose not to grow up and he wanted to play forever. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to abduct children to play with and keep them young forever. Yes.
Wow, right? And fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then there was all the stuff while Peter Pan's dick was in the shadows and stuff. But anyway.
What?
You haven't seen that shit? Yeah, dude.
No.
The old Disney stuff is chock full of pedophilia crap.
I'm not surprised, but whoa, what?
Yeah, there's one scene where he's like, whatever, because the reason why he goes into their bedroom, first of all, is he's chasing his shadow, right?
Yeah.
So there's a part where some candle or whatever, he's against the wall like this, and you look down and he just has total cock and balls sitting there. What? And they're like, this is a fucking Disney movie, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, Disney is notorious for putting adult content in their
right, yeah.
stuff. Like, what was it, the old Aladdin cases, VHS cases, that had straight up dongs on it?
There was that's the Little Mermaid.
It was a Little Mermaid one?
Yeah, it looks gross. Yeah, Little Mermaid and the castle that had one that was a dick.
Yeah. Well, if you have the original one of those, send it to me.
Also in The Little Mermaid, the priest who marries, he's going to be marrying what's-his-face forever. He's got a dong. And then one of my favorite movies, Rescuers Down Under, there's a booby scene.
Really?
So when they're in the Seagull or whatever his name, when they jump off the building, first of all, and they're diving down, and in the background there's that building. There's all those windows.
Yeah.
If you slow it down and zoom in, there's a lady like taking her shirt off, and you totally see like her boobs.
What?
In the cartoon, yeah. I think it was Lion King. They also like wrote sex in the clouds and like.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And then there was something with Mufasa's dad too. The way that he said something or another, it sounded pervy.
Yeah. There's some other shit with they re-talked about how Aladdin was talking to Jasmine, and I was like, whoa, and then yeah, like just crazy shit. Yeah. Anyway, so Disney movies were great, guys. Just fucking.
Yeah. Well, the new Disney movies are absolutely not the same.
Is that better or worse? I don't know.
Yeah.
At least they're upfront about them fucking with people now.
Yeah, the bored
right?
animators back in the day, they're like, I'm going to do this, and these kids ain't even going to know. Boobies.
Bored, I don't know. I think they were told to. There was this Swedish, or whatever ethnicity is, I'm not sure, but he didn't speak English. Someone was translating for him, and he was an animator. He talked about how Disney gave him $40 million to go back and write chemtrails, put in chemtrails in all their old movies so people think how it's fucking a natural thing.
What?
Yeah, look that shit up.
Huh.
Yeah, that just reminded me about the whole chemtrail thing. This guy was talking about, someone was interpreting, and he's like, yeah, they paid me, went back in all their old reels and wrote in chemtrails or draw them in, so now people think that they've been there this whole time and it's a natural thing.
Weird. Oh, speaking of chemtrails, did you see the India got like a whole year's worth of rain in 2 days?
India did?
Did you see that?
No.
It was one of those desert areas, right? So they got this maybe past week or two. They got flooding. 2 days worth of rain in 1 day, or 2 years worth of rain in 1 day, or 1 year worth of rain in 2 days.
Something like that.
Oh, yeah. Jamie. Oh, we don't have a Jamie.
I'm not worried about climate change and the fact that like our cars are fucking it up. I'm worried about climate change because the government's literally like, no, we're creating weather.
It's not our cars. It's cow farts. Cow farts are the reason.
Yeah, I don't...
but anyway, they're saying that it was crazy. Cloud seeding that caused all this rain.
Exactly. You don't think fucking scientists like making it rain?
I'll be able to hear you on the podcast, but I did not hear anything that you just said.
You're good. I'll reiterate. Like it bothers me that scientists are like, you don't think that creating rain in super abundant amounts in places that's not supposed to be is going to fuck with the weather on a global scale? Nah,
we'll be all right.
You guys need to have less kids. You need to eat less meat.
Eat less red meat. It's cow farts. Cow farts are the reason. Keep driving your oil-producing cars.
Eat bugs.
Right?
I don't mind. I mean, so again, like, I wouldn't be told to eat it, but again, like, we've talked about this before, like, other places just eat bugs and whatever because that's their culture. I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind eating some stuff, you know, like, there's a line. You gotta draw your line, what's a pet and what's food.
Yeah,
you know?
What are you doing to survive? Are you going to survive or are you going to die? I'm going to eat a cricket, thanks.
You know, here's the thing. If I was starving to death, I would not eat my pet.
To me, there's a fine line.
It's like eating one. Like if they, you know, it's like if you die. If I died, Wayne, and we were starving to death, I'd be pissed if you didn't eat my leg or something to survive. Like I would be honestly pissed as a ghost. Like I'd be like, bro, I'm dead.
Like that survivors for the plane crash up in the mountains or whatever it was. They ended up taking turns of seeing who would eat each other's butts.
See, to me, a leg would be much more appetizing than someone's butt. Like I guess.
Well, they were justifying it because that's where the most meat and fat is. So they would do that. Yeah, but then there's also that PETA poster where it's like, where do you draw the line between farm stock and pet or something like that? And I was like, I draw it at zombie apocalypse.
Nah, see, I could never eat. If I was starving, I would definitely like, you know, it's just like it's like another living being. You know, even if it was your child, I couldn't like, you know, eat your child.
No, I think I was about to say in the like, zombie apocalypse, the only way that I'd eat a human is if I was a zombie, and that wouldn't be too far. Like I'd be a zombie pretty damn quick because my kids don't listen for shit. They'd be like, "What do you mean, Dad?" And then I'd get bit, and then I'd be like, "Run!" And then they'd die too because they'd run off without me because I'd be dead.
Wow, we're going down to the dark stuff. But yeah, look in your souls, folks. If you could eat someone, like, I don't know, like, I'm not talking about being cannibal. That's just a totally different lifestyle.
Right? Like, on the survivalist level. I personally would not eat a human in a survival situation unless they had just died. Like, I think that would be where I was
It's the whole carrion kind of, like, corpse or, like, again, too, like, and that's where it comes across, again, too, like, Wayne, like, if I was out with your family and, like, I died and I was like, look, you know, I'm going to die. I'm like, eat me, Wayne.
There's be no. There, you, mean, like, you ain't got no meat on your bones, dude.
It's the sentiment that counts. Eat. I know. I got to do some more pull-ups. That bicep, you got definitely some bicep stew or something. I don't know, but I definitely don't have any ass meat. There's no butt meat on this skeleton for sure.
There you go. But
so I was like, they're butts. I was like, man, that's some fat butt people. Because
right, like in a zombie apocalypse, there are people who are going to get tripped and people who can run. Choose wisely.
There are people who are going to be the eating you.
Right?
That's fucked up.
It is.
My God.
It's a sad truth, and we're talking about human nature, too. And this selfish culture that we have to choose our own destiny. Ha! I tied it in there. And just be fit enough to not be the tripped. You know what I mean? Just don't be the tripped. That's a shirt. Just in the zombie apocalypse, don't be the one I trip. You know? Make yourself useful enough that I want to save you because you're like Eugene off The Walking Dead, where you could just engineer everything out of fucking potatoes or whatever the hell he does, or you know, make yourself muscle momo enough to where you could bash in zombies' heads all day with a a spiky potato, whatever the hell that guy called it.
Oh, well.
Tying everything around.
People are going to keep me around because of my sense of humor. Oh, God, the zombies! Yeah, I know, right?
I'm funny. Yeah, you probably taste a little funny, too. Trip. What can you do? I can garden, farm, and fix stuff. I've literally built my life in such a way, like, you remember the old role-playing sheets?
Yes.
I put enough dots in the survivalist dots to not be useless in a zombie apocalypse.
That's awesome. I have the skill of managing other people.
Trip!
Did I mention I have a small weapons collection, and I have a very good green thumb, and
there you go. See, that's where it's at. Can you handle firearms? Yes, I can handle firearms. I can shoot a target.
Pressure.
Yeah, I'm calm under pressure, and I can grow things. What's my likelihood of surviving the zombie apocalypse? 0, because my kids don't listen. You hear that, kids? You don't listen. You're going to be like, well, Daddy used to do a podcast back in the day. Let's listen to it. Oh, my God, why was he talking so much trash?
Oh, my God, I feel so bad. Like, it's in a mean way. You're not in a mean way, but you kind of look at people and like, oh, you know, kids, and be nice to your kids. But in a fucking realistic, having to raise a small monster into a human being, God damn, man, like, where is the actual line, people? Because we're not even near it anymore. People should need to be able to discipline their kids. And we shouldn't be like, oh my God, we should be like, listen to your mom, you little fuck.
No, I think I'm seeing the value in intellectually disciplining your kids. There's like things like natural consequences and all these other stuff where you don't necessarily have to beat them into submission.
No.
But at the same time, you can grow their intellect. Like, okay, why don't we touch a red stove? Because it's hot. Exactly. So are we going to touch a red stove again? No. Exactly.
Why not? No. Just I think the backbone to parents has been just taken away from you folks. Like, that's all. I just, you know what I mean? Like, there's a healthy amount of fear you need to have for the people upbringing you. Because the best excuse I ever got, or reason I should say, for someone in school not doing something they shouldn't do was, and I quote, my parents. My dad would hurt me. My dad would, kill me.
Oh, my dad's gonna kill me when I get home.
Yeah, metaphorical. My dad would kill me. Yeah, my mom would fucking, kick my ass, whatever.
I mean, meh. All right, I think we got a blip at this point. So
we're blipping. Yep.
Now that we've made it to the truck, we should have different segments. The park, the car, and the truck. There you go. There's our segments. Big old corporate America. All right, back up to the blip. All right, and we're back. Just enough to say, nah, we're not going to do it. We don't feel like it. So, if you've enjoyed the past 40 minutes, go ahead, like, subscribe, follow, whatever that is. Send smoke signals. Leave a message. Leave some feedback.
Buy some merchandise.
What else do soulless assholes say? We're if you're looking
Thank you for supporting my Patreon.
Yeah, thank you for supporting my Patreon. If you are a corporation that really wants us to pitch your stuff too, you can contact us at thetoastoftheweird@gmail.com. Or as I like to call it, fakelead.com. There you go. Anyway, till next time, you weird fuckers.
Peace.
Are you serious? Yeah.